So what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first market recap in my YouTube channel. I will try to do this consistently every day or every other day. It's just my thoughts on the market, how I feel that the session went, how I feel the session is going to be moving forward. So I hope that you guys can use my opinion and then just grow from it. So let's get started with today's session. So going into the daily and just starting to give a look to SPY and whatnot. So SPY, we closed Friday basically in between our 200-day EMA and our 200-day SMA. So we basically showed, you know, the bears. We were like, hey, you know what? It's time to sweat, man. It's time to get sweaty because I'm gonna put you up into a spot where you probably went short, and I'm gonna flirt with your stop loss constantly. And that is what you basically could have seen, whether it was in SPY and the Qs and anywhere. You know, today was a day that definitely made any long-term bears that are still, very bearish in the market sweat. And I will admit, I was one of those bears at some point with how this session was going. But once I started seeing how things were moving, and obviously with the Chinese New Year that was happening, so Asia wasn't even participating. It was just one of those. Wow, it is what it is. So let's just keep going. So we basically opened today below the 200-day SMA. We built on top of that. We took over the 10-day moving average at 442. We basically just started moving, and our main target to confirm a move higher was this little green line right here. This green line is our 150-day EMA. So at 447, when I was looking at the market, I said to myself, you know what, Manny, if we're gonna keep going higher, we're gonna need to confirm this level. We're gonna need to get above 447, and we're gonna have to turn this into a nice support, enough to tell the bears that the bulls want blood, and that's what everybody was thinking. So near power hour starting, we got this little beautiful little drop right here. This was the biggest bear trap I can ever imagine. Power hour started. We saw this little move right there. We rejected more or less like about 448. We were like, oh shit, look at that. We lost 447 so easily. We're going to keep going down, just to be met by possibly one of the most squeezy looking bear traps I have seen in a while. This was such market makers. If you're watching this was really disrespectful to anybody that was even looking at the charts, because even though people can say, oh, that was a bear trap, I saw it coming. No, you didn't. Like, shut your ass up. No, you didn't. We have been selling off every other day at power hour, so be quiet. That's not what you thought. That's what you want to tell people that you thought, but you thought that this was going to go down. So once this happened, you got squeezed, and then again back up. We ended up closing at around actually less than 450. So we closed at 449.91. Algorithms. So pretty much with SPY, that is going to be the case. So moving forward, you guys can see that at 451, we have this 20-day EMA right here, and then we also have the 150-day SMA at 450.57. So again, for us to continue higher at this point, I'm just going to be trading any upside very cautiously. If I'm going to be trading the indices, at least SPY. I'll just be confirming levels, taking my profits as I go and whatnot. But let's move on to the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is the tech sector, and here's why I call it the elephant. People were when the Nasdaq started just taking a huge fat shit at the beginning of the month, people started shorting SPY as well. And one thing that I want everybody to be aware of, and I hope everybody is aware of this. Ready? There are other sectors in the S&P 500 aside from tech. That is the main thing that I want to say. People were shorting SPY when they should have been shorting the Qs. Why would you short something that a specific sector can keep it up versus the sector that is taking a beating? So let's look at QQQ. QQQ, as you can see, I have this trend line. Let me turn off the indicator so you can see the trend line very clearly. I have this little trend line right here. You can see one touch, two touch right here, finally broke below it, and now we pretty much touched it. When we let go, we can see that we basically rejected our drumroll 200-day EMA. So what does this tell me? Tech is still in a world of pain. Nvidia I think it's one of the stocks that moved pretty aggressive today. Personally, if the Nasdaq sees more destruction, I think Nvidia is going to be another one that's going to fall. So I think Nvidia just gave setups, and we're gonna go look in the video later on. But just looking at this for tomorrow, if we gap up, obviously you're gonna want to see a dip and you're gonna want to see a hold into this. But if tomorrow we gap down, the scenario will most likely be we're gonna move against into this, and if we do not have the buyers in line, then we're just gonna head down again one more time, and we're gonna probably just start chopping in range. When we look at the monthly of the Qs, which is something that I was looking at, so this little support cloud, right? Or the support cloud is the 5 and 10 day SMA. We are literally down below this cloud, and look, you here, 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 here. Even if we zoom out, we have not been basically below this cloud since COVID. If you think about it, just look at it. Look at the chart. So at this point, all eyes are going to stay and remain on tech. It's what it's going to do. Is it going to continue higher, or are we continue just fading out slowly, and we're going to start seeing divergence in other sectors while the tech sector is still getting hit? Honestly, let's see what happens. With the Qs, with the daily and everything, I personally believe, like I said, we're gonna have to wait until tomorrow and see what a move we make. If we gap up, then we have to confirm these levels of support. If we gap down, we got to see if we're going to finally confirm the breakout of these levels. So it can go either way when it comes to these two. I am a Forex trader. I trade US 30, the Dow. The Dow broke out of this little daily resistance zone right here. You don't even have to look at, moving averages for the Dow. So we broke out of this. So obviously, as we continue higher, we want to see, little resistances or whatever get broken. But I'm a big fan of zooming out, right? And it's just, all you have to do is, I like to have the little crosshairs, as you can see, because it's so easy. I don't have to draw a line. I just do things like this, like, oh, look at that. Just look at this. Look, once I draw this, look at where we close in the Dow, right? You see this right here? This point's like, it's a easily a resistance area. We're going to probably either head lower or try to climb up. So again, I'm not completely bullish on this, and I'm not bearish either. I'm a trader that I trade whatever, the setups are moving forward. But if you are a perma bull and you think that, we are all out of the waters, you need to zoom out. You need to look at the charts, and you need to make sure that the charts go with your bias. If not, sorry to say, I'm sorry to be the one to say this to you. You are just another biased trader. Your times in the market is not going to be that long. You will blow up soon enough till you get this bias out of you. So that's just what it is. But let's keep moving forward with tech names. I did mention I wanted to look in NVIDIA. So look in NVIDIA. NVIDIA broke above, again, this trend line, and basically it's above the 200-day, literally above the 150-day, but we are still below the 20-day. So I think really moving forward with any tech names that are just hanging still below their 20-day, we're going to need to see what's going to happen. AMD is still below their 200-day SMA. Microsoft, see, it basically it's up above the 20-day, but it rejected the 100-day. So again, we're rejecting short-term supply on a macro scale. So we have to see how far will the supply hold. I mean, Tesla, look, everybody today went crazy with Tesla. I gave my Discord traders, I gave him a level right here. Let me show you guys the trade. So my watches, equity watches, basically Apple's bounce 169 or 166.50, or Tesla over 873, target 890, 900. So you can see 873 level, we broke out of it, right? Even we dipped and whatnot, but once we reclaimed it, we just moved up, and then we moved into our 890, which would have been your first trim zone. Once 890 was confirmed, as you can see, we came back down, we started holding it as dips, and then we just completely got up. We headed into the next target, which was that 900 level. So that was all I took, with Tesla. All I cared for taking Tesla with was that move. I did not care if Tesla went to 1,000, 1,100. I would have just traded it the next day. But I think the trade was pretty nice and well-mannered. Apple, 169 bounce or 166.50. Didn't necessarily get that 169 whole number bounce. If you can see, let me show you guys the 5 real quick on Apple. So I really wanted that 169 level whole, but I never got it. It stalled out at around 169.50, and then Apple just completely moved up. It was a nice move up, but I didn't get my level. I wasn't gonna get into it or break down or really just get into that trade when I didn't feel that comfortable. So back to basically the topic when it comes to the Qs and the indices and whatnot. Moving forward is definitely going to be a very interesting session. It's gonna be not really session, more like the month. Excuse me. So it's gonna be a very interesting month to see. Remember, the guidance given by the Fed. We basically have, a clear view that we're gonna get interest rate hikes into March. So again, let's see how the market moves in February. I hope that we keep getting directional plays and it's not a repeat of last year, which was a very choppy February, really. So if we get some directional plays, we could see it. But honestly, guys, just my point of view. If you are a perma bull, you need to zoom out a bit. If you are a perma bear, you need to make sure that the chart is sticking to your bias. All right. So this is my first little short recap. I will try to do this as much as I can. I hope everybody has a wonderful night wherever you guys at. So take care, and I will catch you guys in the next video.